7 months ago, I uploaded one of the more infamous videos on my channel, critiquing the then current state of one of my favorite series, Kengan Ashura, and how its sequel Kengan Omega fell off aggressively in terms of quality. Since then, my opinion on the manga has largely remained the same. Besides some very rare high points as well as some really low points, overall very lukewarm. In that video, I did mention that a return to form is possible with the upcoming Rio Champion tournament, which would mark the first tournament in the manga to feature top fighters since the KVP tournament in 2021. I didn't think it would take 7 months for that tournament to commence, but after 30 chapters of Worm and Clone's lore, we're finally here, and I have some things to say. The participants are as following: Lolong Donare, as expected, Jurota, who beat Kano Agido to qualify, Gao Lang, a very welcome addition, Julius, also another very welcome addition, Kano Agido, who really does not belong here, but for hype's sake, I guess it is what it is. And the rest are new characters: Justin Kitagawa, Saki Gakehiraku, and Ramen Yuko. I'm generally very happy with the lineup, except Wakasugi not being in it. I think that's just kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. The implications of this tournament is that the winner will go on to fight Shen Wulong, or at least have a match with Kuroki, the winner of that match then going on to face Shen. Right now, I'm expecting either Lolong, Agito, or one of the new characters to clear the tournament, but this is not a prediction video. I'm here to chat about what I expect from the tournament from a writing perspective, especially in regards to what it can do for the future of Kengan Omega. Firstly, I think the important thing is for the matches to focus on the sportsmanship aspect, rather than just power scaling or revealing lore-related information. That's one of the reasons Kengan Ashura was great, because the KAT was to determine the new chairman of Kengan, but that's not the stakes that we cared about. What actually hooked the fans was the individual characters' motivations, the reason to win, the passion, the character moments, etc. And by the same token, a lot of the recent Worm villains have fallen very flat because they have practically no character or relatable traits. The in-canon stakes of this tournament is to crown the King of Kings, or to determine who will fight Shen, but I don't want to just hear about those two things repeatedly in the isolated matchups. Break it down to something more intimate to the characters that are fighting. Like for example, in the first round matchup for Gao Lang, you can mention that his last two fights were losses, and this time he has to win, and he has a chance to redeem himself against the man that defeated his very strongest rival. That alone will add some emotional weight to what's being shown. In the previous KVP tournament, certain fights had characters fighting for relatable, tangible motivations, whereas others were just about mysterious evil bad guys, and it's clear which matches ended up being better. I'm expecting the same kind of nonsense in this tournament, at least to a degree, particularly with this guy, but if it's kept to a minimum, I have no complaints. The next thing is presentation, making things feel as epic as possible. If nothing else, the entrances are still great in Omega, but in Ashura, hyping up the characters were done through subtle, witty ways too, not just by giving everyone Superman syndrome. Like I really liked it when Rama bet everything on Gao Lan without so much as blinking an eye, and that cold confidence shocked even Matsudo. Or when Alina compared Waga and Julius to a kaiju movie. You create tension and make things feel big by putting the readers right there in the shoes of the characters, whether it be the fighters or people in the audience, not through increasing the power scale over and over again. We're bound to get some dream matches as part of this tournament. Julius and Agido sounds insane. Gao Lang and Chirota, which is already underway, is also looking great, and Lolong vs Agido is almost a done deal. I hope I didn't jinx that right there. That one is by far my most anticipated matchup. King vs Emperor, Kengan and Purgatory once again. Forget about those conspiracy worm bumps. This is about as big as it gets. There's so much that you could do with it. Hell, this could be one of the longest fights of the series. Both men are at the absolute top of their game. They both won another shot against Kuroki. The storytelling is there, the drama is there. I want to see them dig deep and look completely destroyed after the match. This is what Kengan is about. The finals could be anything from a Gao Lang and Agido rematch, Gao Lang vs Lolong, or something to do with the new guys. I personally want Lolong to win so he can go off and fight Kuroki to tie up that story. Because provided that match happens, I still expect Kuroki to win and be the one to fight Shen, so in that regard, it doesn't make too much narrative sense for Agido to earn his rematch just to lose again anyways. And if Kuroki is not involved and the King of Kings go on to fight Shen directly, I'm more confident that Hiraku will win via some shenanigans. Overall, I'm not expecting this tournament to be some major course correction for the manga or anything. Regrettably, I guess. Being realistic, the stuff with Willem in recent memory doesn't give me a lot of hope, and as hard as I've tried, I still find it very hard to get invested in the stuff that Shen and Yan are doing, which is what we'll eventually have to return to since that's the main story. Having said that, there will come a time when the Kengan Annihilation Tournament 2 happens, and I expect the other Tokida Nico to have taken over completely as the main villain by then, and perhaps that finale can be developed simultaneously with just tournament dream fights. And that to me sounds far more compelling than just anything about the worm right now, so I guess we'll see then. So to sum up, I wouldn't say Kengan Omega is good now. I mean, that's completely subjective, my opinion doesn't mean anything, but it's not any different from what it has been in the last year and a half or so. However, this tournament is the most exciting it's been in a while, in the sense that at worst, it's still a brief break from the main story and something that can be enjoyed in isolation for fans who only want to see the fights. If you're a lapsed fan who hasn't read or kept up with Kengan Omega for X amount of time, I'd say this is a decent point to hop back on it, even if you only tune in for the fights and don't continue afterwards. This is still the closest we'll get to Ashura in some time, and you shouldn't miss out on some of the matchups. That's all I have to say about it for now. A number of people asked me what my opinion is, so I wanted to make a quick video on it. Feel free to let me know your opinion as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. Moving forward, the channel will cover both pro wrestling and anime and manga in equal parts, so I hope you guys will enjoy everything I have in store on both fronts. So far, it's been Edward Takeshi. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.